So here's another summer movie that I was really excited for with two of my favorite actors to watch. So did it live up? Well... War Dogs. War Dogs is the newest dramedy based on a true story, directed by Todd Phillips and starring Miles Teller and Jonah Hill. Miles Teller plays David, who's a struggling massage therapist in Miami Beach that's trying to figure out his next business venture to help pull himself out of this financial rut. And once he finds out that he has a kid on the way, well, he's willing to do whatever it takes to make some money. Luckily, his old childhood friend, Efraim Diveroli, played by Jonah Hill, happens to be back in town, and he so happens to be making a lot of great money selling weapons to the US government. So like any good friend would, he decides to help him out and get him into the arms business. So initially, they're doing really well and they're making a lot of great money on these smaller government contracts, but then they bite off a little more than they can chew when they land this $300 million contract from the Pentagon. Obviously, things don't go as planned, and drama ensues. So I gotta say that the advertising for this movie made it seem like it was gonna be a lot more comedic and a lot more in the style of The Hangover or The Wolf of Wall Street than it actually was. This movie is first and foremost a drama with comedic elements, with a lot of great comedic bits that did end up making it a lot of fun and really entertaining to watch. And the bulk of this fun comes from the amazing on-screen chemistry between Miles Teller and Jonah Hill. These guys show once again how incredibly talented they are through these contrasting characters. The relationships established, their dynamic is fantastic, and they're just so much fun and so entertaining to watch. David is more of the one with the moral compass who's actually trying to work towards something good, while Efraim is more of that sleazy, selfish, kind of untrustworthy, more in it for the money type of guy. And although these characters are so different, their relationship is so strong and the interplay is so on point that they blend rather than clash. Bradley Cooper's also in this movie, and, well, he's fine, you know, he's barely in it, and the scenes that he actually is in, they are great, but honestly, any random actor could have been in this role and it would have been exactly the same because he's just so minuscule in the movie, which is kind of ironic because when you look at it, his character is actually integral to the main plot. Now, it was really entertaining to see these guys travel to all these different countries to make sure that their business was running smoothly, and to see all these interactions with all these other people that are involved in this industry. But there are so many pacing issues in this movie that just kill the momentum. The first half of this movie spends entirely too much time setting up this business partnership and then providing a lot more in-depth information on a smaller government contract that isn't the actual focus of the movie. The sad part is that the first half of this movie is actually really interesting, really entertaining, and probably the best part of this entire movie, solely because they provided enough information for you to actually get invested in it. But once this movie gets to the actual government contract, which it takes way too long to get to, things start to derail. A lot of information feels like it was either cut out because of time purposes or just forgotten in the editing room completely in hopes of making a more fast-paced movie. But this movie actually ended up feeling a lot longer than it needed to be while leaving a lot of unanswered questions on the table. There's obviously a lot of information in the story and in this business that a lot of people wouldn't understand or simply just don't care about, but there still needs to be an effort to inform the audience about what's going on. Whether that be by subtly weaving this information throughout the dialogue or just breaking away and explaining it to the audience. We've seen it done and we've seen it done well. The Big Short did this and it did it really, really well, and it didn't compromise any aspect of the movie. Another directorial choice that just irked the living daylights out of me was this oversaturated and unnecessary use of freeze frames with voiceover narration. And there was also a whole bunch of pointless title cards that served no significant purpose to the movie. The freeze frames are a major reason why the middle section of this movie continuously loses steam. They're all out of place and they're all distracting, except they're not as distracting as these silly foreshadowed one-liners that we see in these title cards. If this movie wanted to tell a more compelling and memorable story, then what it needed to do was take all the time that it needed to focus itself up on being a crime drama first, then trying to find a balance between a crime drama and a fast-paced comedy. Sacrificing context and seemingly interesting information inevitably waters down the end product. But guys, I still really enjoyed this movie. The characters, the setting, the premise, they're all really entertaining to watch. And this is definitely one of the better movies of the summer, despite not being as good as I was hoping it was gonna be. And for all these reasons, I'm gonna give War Dogs a 7 out of 10. War Dogs! Have you seen it? Let me know what you thought about it in the comment section below. And while you're at it, let me know what your favorite action comedy of this year is so far. And as always guys, thank you so much for watching this video. It truly does mean a lot. If you like this video, don't forget to hit like. If you want to stick around and watch some more movie reviews, hey, hit subscribe. I'll catch you in the next one.